In an ancient time, when a terrible evil threatens the land, only one man can save the world.
Say what? Get out of here.
What? What's the meaning of this?
Oh, we'll just take off that broken record.
I say.
Here, hold my earrings while I take this monster down. I've got your back, darling. We just might burn down this town. Oh no, oh yeah. When you're up against a challenge and you need a helping hand, we've got an arsenal of fireballs, steel stilettos, and a cat. Oh yeah.
Hi, and welcome to Here Hold My Earrings. My name's Al, and I'm your DM today. With me are Henrietta, Yvonne, Laura, Daria, Sophie, and Ida. Henrietta?
Hi, I'm Henriette. I'm from Norway, and I play Mealy, a moon elf wizard.
Yvonne?
Hi, I'm Yvonne from Canada, and I play Cracker, a half-orc barbarian.
Laura?
I'm Nora from Germany, and I play Byleth, a tiefling wizard.
Daria?
Hi, I'm Daria. I'm from Poland, and I play a tiefling sorcerer named Zenis.
Sophie?
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm from Wales, and I play a human wizard named Charlotte.
And Ida?
Hi, I'm Ida. I'm from Sweden, and I play Lilith, a wood elf cleric.
Excellent. All right, Laura, it's your show.
Okay. So we finally found Sabine, the raven-haired lady, and she's looking at us confused, and the city is obviously still under siege. So Zenise bravely comes closer, and she says that she has mail from Lord Neverember. So Sabine takes the letter, and she says that she isn't surprised. Neverember mentioned that he had a plan, a rebellion of sorts. And then she says to the men that they are no longer fighting the invaders, but the Zhentarim now. Yay! The towers cannot be assaulted easily from the ocean. So the ships of our troops will be destroyed if they try anymore. Most Zhentarim are in the towers, and we need to take them. It is going to be a small assault, and the ballista, called Mother, is very powerful. The west tower controls the chain mechanism, the main chain mechanism, but has a lot of other machines, archers, etc. So we need to drop the chains to the harbor and disable the machines. The final goal must be the Palace of Neverwinter. Vydar will be there holding Neverember hostage, and as long as the castle and the palace are in his control, we cannot overtake the city, since he could summon reinforcements quickly. Also, we shouldn't destroy the tower or the palace. And Sabine will try to spread the message of the new plan. And we need a message that the soldiers will accept. So we give Blemish some fish, and then he can go with Sabine to spread the message. Charlotte also gives up her fake crown. How can we ever repay her? Wow. What a nice queen. And Commander will show us the heroes of cricket, the tower. We also tell our army to stand down. Zenith sends a message to Commander Forsyth about standing down and no pillaging. He accepts the standing down, but he's very against the no pillaging since the men have lost so much and they deserve some reward. Charlotte sends a message to Jet, and the message bird comes back quickly. I'm right behind you. It says, creepy, but he talks to us about the weapons. He's good at hiding, but it is very hard in this scenario to disable them. He can't do it. But he has some other plans. Among them is calling the doppelganger Cessna. So we sent a paper bird to Cessna about the disguise, and they respond. Take down the Zhentarim, remove martial law, count me in. I have a perfect disguise. We also asked the sergeant if he can come with us, but he is not error-proof. But we find out that the militia in the chain room, so they're in the chain room, and we can avoid hurting them and maybe get them on our side. While we wait, there's a fishmonger's hall, and we go in there, And there is a little sleeping space where Charlotte used to live. She's come so far. Yeah. So shortly after, we see an odd fellow dressed in armor with a goatee, and he bows and says his very long name. We were asking for some assistance, and they shapeshift, and it is Cessna. Yay! We tell them that what we have to offer: a forever troll steak, some sheep, and hippogriff meat. And they greet us all. They also have some food for us to eat, and we take that. um, and she also tells that Clarissa has left with a sailor to Cracker. And then they say that, or they disguise themselves as a Zhentarim that is in contact to Vydar, and they will not revert back, so we can't call her Sus now, but we can call them Lieutenant, or the name Diego degli Esposto della Maradona. And
Well done.
we we discuss our plan and get into formation. We approach the tower, some Zhentarim are looking down, very few militia, and as we get closer, the lieutenant says, "Open up." We have some reinforcements, including the tieflings, and the door opens, and we walk in and walk up the stairs. But then we are kind of confused as to what's next. And we hear something, and the real lieutenant arrives. Oh no! Cracker quickly tries to grapple the real one, and a fight breaks out. And the Zhentarim fight us and use the ballista too. Very chaotic. And that's where we left off.
Well done. Especially
Thank
with the
you.
pronunciation of our lieutenant's name. And Diego, if you ever hear this recording, shout out to you, buddy. All right. Yes. So you are in the midst of combat. You're staring down a rotating ballista, as well as a horde of crews. I know one particular tiefling has got something, has a nasty surprise in store for the rest of them. But who indeed? Who indeed, Daria? But then you've still got the real lieutenant to contend with, as well as, of course, any survivors, because even some very powerful spells such as Fireball may not get everybody. So we shall see. All right. So we left it at the top of the turn order, which I guess makes it Lilith's turn.
Yes.
All right. All right. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna use my sacred flame on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
All right. That's pretty good damage too for Sacred Flame. Well
and
done.
then I'm gonna move my spirit weapon
Okay.
over there, and I'm gonna attack the same guy again with my spirit weapon.
Okay. Great. Yeah, so that's not going to get through his armor, but it clangs off the ballista a little bit. Well done. Did you want to move at all, or?
No, I don't want to make an opportunity attack.
Yeah, smart. Okay. All right, Yvonne.
Okay, I'm just gonna take a swing at Diego, the real Diego. And I'm not recklessly attacking.
Okay.
And
But you
there's
are
a
still
1.
raging, right?
I'm not raging.
Oh, you're not. Oh, because you ran out of rages. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm all out of
Okay.
rages. Oh, and it's really affecting me.
Yeah.
17 and a 9.
Okay. 17's going to hit. And he shouts out a curse in a language you don't understand. But having worked in a couple of the seedier bars on the Sword Coast, you understand the body language. All right, Charlotte.
Okay. I'm just gonna swivel a little bit to the side of this guy.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna hit him with a frostbite in his face. Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you successfully hit him.
Good. Take that.
And does he have like a disadvantage or something after the words?
On his next attack, he has disadvantage.
Okay. Please remind me if I forget.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
lose my shield here.
Okay.
Bloop.
Well done. And Amelie.
Yes, I am going to use a shocking grasp on De La Morte.
Mm.
Let's see. Ta-da!
Wow. Yeah. So, do you want to roll with it? You can give it a try and see if you get a crit.
A crit. Okay, yeah, because I had metal. Let's see. Forgot about that. Nope.
Okay.
No crit.
Well, anyway, it's you can see the electricity shoot through his metal and his hair, which was already been on the wild side, as well as parts of his elements of his beard, stand out, and he looks like a porcupine.
Okay. And I am going to move away now. I think I'm going to hide behind Bellis.
Okay. Yeah, smart. And remind me if I somehow forget and try to use a reaction for him. Thank you. All right. Speaking of, he doesn't have a reaction, but he does have his action, so he's going to. I guess. I mean, there's three of you to choose from, as well as the fake him. He will go after. Well, why don't the three of you roll a d20? I'm not sure he really thinks any of you are particularly more difficult or dangerous than the others. Okay, great. I was going to say that Cracker probably would have edged out everybody based on appearance. All right. Daria and Ida, would you like to roll a d20 each?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I think that 16 is going to connect. And that's going to be 6 points of damage from his whirling short sword. Zanice, would you like to?
Yeah. Fireball.
All right, so the fireball goes around corners, so you can place it pretty much anywhere you want.
Like
Yeah,
here.
that'll work.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll work. So let me just keep track of how many. So that'll affect this guy. I'm just going to put little red dots so I know on the outsides. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I got it. Thanks. And we'll get everybody in the middle as well.
Fireball.
21, that's not bad. Do you want to just roll them all really quick yourself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
11 or
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it looks like 11.
okay.
I'm just going to say that if they fail, they'll be dead. So we'll only count the ones that succeed. Oof. Okay, 1, 2. So I'm going to start from left to right, clockwise, if that's okay.
Okay.
Call it. He's going to be crispy crittered. He's going to be. He's crispy crittered. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say they don't have a bonus. Okay. This one's dead. And as the fireball engulfs the entire lower left-hand corner of the tower, setting ablaze more than half of the total number of men that were engulfed and burning horribly, the rest of them, to the point where they look like they could die with just a stiff breeze. It also sets on fire all of the ballistae, since they're made of wood, and there's actually fire-based ammunition as well as pitch, which was also being used specifically on the ballista, being fired at the ships to try to set them alight. And the entire corner is now smoldering with flame. It's a horrible stench, black, choking smoke. On any given turn, those of you who are on the roof, which is, of course, everybody, will have to roll a Constitution save. Pretty easy one, but it's still going to be a Constitution save. And if you fail, you will be coughing, and you will be unable to take your turn other than to try to move away from it. But that applies to the rest of them as well. But well done. Nice job there, Daria.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. It's a big fire.
Yes.
Well, that takes care of the ballista.
Yes. Okay, well done. Violet?
Mm-hmm.
Following up with a magic missile seems almost anticlimactic at this stage.
Plain fireball.
Toll for dead. Yeah.
Totally that.
And this one. Oh, wait. Yeah, this one. Take that.
Oh, you're really going with Toll the Dead. All right, yeah.
23 more than a fireball.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, if you hit, let's hope you hit.
Yeah. Let's see.
All right. Yes. The
Very
bonging
nice.
is so loud, and he just holds his head, and you stare into his eyes as his eyes roll up into his head, and blood starts to leak out of his ears and his nostrils, and he just falls over backwards.
Nice. Almost as cool. And I just want to move to here, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I guess there's technically 4 of them left. Well, there's a couple of alive ones in the flames. I should put this. There we go. That's a little bit more clear. So anybody who's in the flames is going to obviously run out, abandoning their post. This one is literally going to jump into the ocean. So he's going to be out of the combat. We have a swimming. We don't have a swimming icon. They should have a swimming icon. Laura, talk to somebody. You can charm them into giving us a swimming icon, I'm sure.
I called them right away.
Yes. You should. Actually, this one will probably jump into the ocean as well. Okay. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them. Why don't each of you roll a d20, and we'll see if any of them break. Ooh. Ooh. All right. So it looks like half of them, and I'll roll one just to balance it out. All right. So it looks like more than half of them surrender. I surrender. I surrender. We'll call them the ones that are farther away. Actually, we'll call the ones closer to the surrender. And the injured ones. So anybody who was already injured from the fireball will surrender, as well as the one closest to Cracker. And then of the ones that are not surrendering, I suppose they'll move up. He'll go to his knees. Really only because of Cessna's position, I guess only one of them can make an attack. Looks like Ida, maybe? So why don't we have Sophie roll an attack against Lilith?
Okay. Take this, Lilith.
Wow,
It's a 6.
that sounded kind of like it's like I told you the last Twinkie was mine.
Give me your TV.
What's that movie where everybody has one day to like go around and commit all the murders they want?
The Purge.
The Purge. I feel like Sophie, you'd be in the front.
Well, I wouldn't be killing anyone, but I would be stealing things.
You already staked out your neighbor's house.
No, not from my neighbors, from big corporations.
Big corporations. Okay.
I'm off to the Apple shop.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. All right. Lilith, it's your turn.
Yes. Well, I will attack the real Diego with
Yes. Your wit.
Yes. No, with my sacred flame.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah. Well done.
and then I move back my spiritual weapon and attack him again with that.
Wow. The double attack. Oof.
Nice.
And he shouts out, "Ow, ow, 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 ow." Cracker.
I'm thinking I just want this guy dead. So hopefully, oh my God. Hopefully one of those hit him. 10 or 14.
No. Oh, well, actually, you have advantage on the one attack because you're opposite
Oh, lovely.
Lilith. So,
One more attack. 26.
yeah, 26 will hit. We'll call it the 5 damage, though, because that was supposed to be your first attack. So,
Okay.
Well done. And he shouts, "Hey, that's not fair." All right, Charlotte.
I will, I'll say to the fake Lieutenant Diego de Gliespa, go kill that imposter. Get him. Stab
Sorry.
him.
Sorry, Diego. Some people just can't be taught. Okay.
So I'm going to command him to attack.
And Cessna will respond, "See," and whips out a couple of short swords and goes after him. Go ahead and roll his attacks there, Sophie.
How many of them are there?
2, please.
2. Oh, 9 and 11.
Actually, the 11 will hit.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oops. Ignore that.
One DF. What was
DF.
Ignore that.
How did you even roll a 1DF? What does 1DF mean?
Fudge roll. I don't know what that means.
A 1D fuck.
Yeah.
That's how many fucks,
How many fucks do you give?
Yeah. 1.
Would you like to roll a 1D6?
3.
There you go. How did you even do the 1DF? I don't even understand how you did that. Did you type it out?
No, on the dice roller, it's beneath the 100. It says fudge. I wanted to see what that was.
Oh.
I like fudge.
Fake die.
Oh, right, the fake die. But then how does it work then? How do you set it up to... Huh. I don't even understand how it would work. Huh. Okay. Very good. Yeah. Okay, so you you managed to make contact and he cuts him a little bit.
Wow, good job, Cessna.
Yeah. Cessna gives you a thumbs up. Well, Diego does.
I
Fake
don't look
Diego.
impressed.
This whole queen thing is getting to your head. Nearly. I can totally see you after a game just like still being in that character, and you're just like, Christian, I'm hungry. Order some takeout. It better be hot when it gets here.
That does sound like me.
It does. I feel like it's got to be you. Nearly, yes.
Yes. I am going to try a firebolt at Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, 13. God, my rolls suck.
It goes past him and strikes the one that surrendered.
Oh,
and kills
sorry.
him. No, I surrender.
Sorry.
Hurts.
Shit happens.
Okay. Yvonne, do you want to roll a morale check for the real Diego?
12.
And he will use his action to disengage, push his way through his allies, and he jumps off the tower, splashing in the harbor below. At which point, the remaining Zhentarim, seeing that they're grossly outnumbered, half their group have surrendered. Some of the others have jumped into the ocean. Most of them are dead. And of course, even some of the ones that surrendered have been killed. They completely surrender, throw their weapons down, get on their hands and knees and put their arms up and shout, essentially, "Don't kill us." Well done. As the tower continues to burn. I feel like you guys should be in the demolition business. You're very good at destroying buildings, setting buildings on fire.
If we drop the chain now, will it land on Diego and drown him?
Maybe. We could always roll it.
Let's try.
It's not impossible. The chain isn't like super high up, though. It is only just a few feet above the waterline. It's meant to cut ships apart, cut ships in half as they are approaching the harbor. So, but it is very heavy. So yes, it could potentially hurt him or even kill him. Do you want to try it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can, what do you want to do now? This is, technically the chain is actually located, the chain room is downstairs, as I think I mentioned before. But
I think we need to put the fire out. Just, anybody got a water thing?
Only fire.
I don't have a bucket. Sorry.
I have a bag of sand.
Frostbite?
Gonna take forever.
It's not a bad idea, but yeah, it does seem a little bit like it's.
Let me post
like,
it again.
Like you're spitting at a inferno.
It says on a creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. How high up are we again?
About 50 feet.
Oh.
Maybe not 50, maybe 30. We'll call it 30. 30 is more than enough.
But if we move away anything flammable, it would just die out because the most of what's here is rock, right? Stone.
The tower, the external portion of the tower is large blocks of carved granite. Internally, there's a lot of wood.
Yeah, but it's only on the top, right? It hasn't moved downstairs yet.
The fire is burning at the top currently.
Yeah.
But, supporting it is wood, right? I mean, there's, like, even in a real castle, it's not just, you still need wood supports.
I mean, Could I use prestidigitation multiple times or something? I know it's not exactly a small campfire, but maybe I could snuff out like a small campfire size of the fire. And then
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
mean, you could
use it
definitely put
multiple
out some of
times.
it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. But that'll take a long time. Yep, that's fine.
I'll
It's
just
better than
frantically
nothing.
start trying to put it out.
You're doing great.
You need a
Wow.
hand?
Yes, please.
It's getting smaller.
I'm-
It's getting
I'm
smaller.
gonna, I will start doing the same.
Okay, yeah. I mean, between the two of you, you managed to make it shrink just a little bit. I'll actually make it a bit more realistic. So you shrink it that much between the two of you.
I'm gonna make it change color.
Wow.
It's green now. So cool.
Which somehow makes it worse.
No. No. Sorry, guys.
But you do hear cheering from the men on the boats, on the ships. It's far away, but they're so loud. After the green flame, they go, and I'm sure if there was somebody who was listening who was a D&D podcast person, they'd go, green flame. There's a lot of cheering and people shouting, "Yay, our heroes! Long live the queen!"
Oh. I can get used to this.
Meanwhile, Zenise is like, the fuck? She can't even cast Fireball. Okay. Is anybody else? We're not in combat, so I'm not going to use the turn order anymore. Does anybody else want to do something specific?
Well, I want to make sure the Zhentarim stay with us and remain surrendered.
Oh yeah, the fight's out of them. I mean, watching most of their friends get crispy crittered is enough to take anybody down, and more than half of the remaining ones are, or half the remaining ones are injured anyway, like very badly injured.
Okay, I think we just go down to the second level and try and release that chain.
Okay. So you get down to the second level, and it's a bunch of the Neverwinter militia working the chain mechanism. They're not really doing a whole lot because it's already locked into place, but they greet you at the door with their spears out, pointed at you, and one of them shouts, "Halt!"
I guess you didn't get the message. We are on your side. Just look out the window and you can see your fellow soldiers at the docks have stopped fighting.
It's still quite dark, so they won't be able to. They won't be able to see like the docks.
Send a scout and you can check for yourself.
You're blocking the only entrance.
I'm going to step aside.
We don't have the letter anymore, right?
You mean the one to Sabine?
Yeah.
I feel like you gave that to Sabine.
You can read it, but I want to have it back.
Did the general,
Okay.
not the general, but what's he, a lieutenant? The other guy?
Mm-hmm.
Could we call for him just to get
You
him to
mean
come?
Cessna?
No, the other guy, the one that Sabine told that he should show us.
Oh, the sergeant.
Sergeant, he was a sergeant. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they're all outside. They let you guys do the assault, but you can call him. Yeah.
Yeah. Laura needs to use her voice and call him over to get him to stand down, so we don't have to hurt him.
You mean
Can't we-
Byleth? Who's Laura?
Byleth, sorry.
Laura? What a weird name.
Sorry.
My name's Vydar.
We don't know his name, right? He's just the sergeant.
We did get his name. It's something with H, I think.
Sergeant H.
Harry, Henry.
The man has a family.
Horson, maybe?
Try that. Or just do Sergeant.
All right. Should we do it together? In a choir?
I'm gonna cover my ears.
It's louder that way. Uh-huh.
It's twice as annoying. But sure.
Yay!
Okay, guys,
nice.
cover your ears. Cover your ears.
Okay.
What do you want to scream?
Something like his name, Sergeant, Mr. We need proof that, I don't know, we're on your side. You can probably word that better. You're very persuasive.
Or Sergeant, we need you to tell your men to stand down.
Exactly.
Hey, Sergeant, get your men in check. Come here.
And from outside the tower, you hear, "Huh? Oh, be right there." Hut, 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 hut. And you just see this fellow running down the stairs, coming around the corner, and then he pops into the room. Oh, yes, it's all on the up and up, man. It's the sergeant, the general has made a deal with them, and apparently we're all friends now. So, yeah, drop the chain, and we'll let the enemy in. That doesn't sound right. Well, you better drop the chain. They killed everybody else anyway. And at that point, the soldiers go, "Oh." Crank, 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 crank. Splash. And then they step back. Sergeant looks at you. Well, that does it. Chain should be in the harbor. If you look out the window, I think you'll be able to see the ships moving.
Yeah, we should get out on the docks to stop them attacking. I don't think they got the message yet.
Okay, let's go.
Let's run.
After you, my queen.
And when she passes you, do you like give her a kick in the butt?
No. Just roll my eyes.
Trying to get in my good graces.
And as you step outside, you see the ships, in fact, are already moving through the harbor. One's already docked alongside the other large ship, and the boarding parties are making their way onto the docks. A second one is taking up station overlooking the rest of the pier, and the archers are in position to fire on anybody who looks as if they might be ready to cause some trouble. More men are coming out of the hold. They immediately run up to the militia of Neverwinter, who, although they don't put down their arms, make it very obvious that they're not looking to fight. And the mercenaries already on the docks and the jetties, who had been part of the initial disarmament treaty, as it were, they help explain the situation, and everybody seems to calm down.
Good.
Well done.
Mission complete.
Mission accomplished. Well done.
Yes.
Oh, we didn't roll to see if you hit Diego. You want to roll one, Henrietta?
Sure. 15.
The splash was so big that you can't be 100% sure, but you don't see him bobbing up after the chain goes down.
Huh.
That's such an evil little laugh. Poor guy. All he did was do his job and have his identity stolen.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
Well, all right then. I guess technically I'll just move Lilith over there. Okay. Now what?
Yeah, now what?
No what?
I guess the next step is to go to the castle. But can we hear the fighting die down in the city by now? Or
You definitely don't hear any fighting around you locally. There's still a lot of shouting going on, but that could also just be a response to the various fires that have broken out. You know, people were injured, hurt, dead, dying. If it was fighting on the opposite side of town, you probably wouldn't be able to hear it over all the ambient noise. Don't forget, you're by the seaside. There's waves. There's men on the dock shouting, you know, giving orders. There's a raging river that flows down from the mountains at fairly good force. So it's hard to hear anything really from the opposite side of town.
because I really think that we should rest before going to Vydar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you think we should take the tieflings too? Will we just leave them with our army?
Let's leave them with army. They're not as
Okay.
strong.
Yeah, that's true. But we do need Blemish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we need to attune to all those items.
Loot!
Yeah.
Loot!
Should we tell all the soldiers to get some rest and try to wound care for their wounds and stuff and take so everyone is getting a rest? So it doesn't look like we are the only ones doing it.
Yeah, but we need someone on guard in case Zhentarim
Yeah,
calling.
but I can take
guess
4 hours guarding.
yeah, me too. And I guess that maybe some of the soldiers on the boats aren't as exhausted as the ones inside, so they could help.
Yeah.
Your men, all the men have been busy besieging the city for the better part of a couple of days. So there might be some people who are not like literally exhausted, but anybody who was able hands was either running the ship trying to dodge these massive fire ballista, or they were busy plinking arrows at enemy on shore. So it's not like anybody was sort of hanging out.
Are there a lot of kind of entrances to the dock, or is it open into the city at all sides, or?
The docks are pretty open. It's a commerce hub, so it's designed to have a lot of relatively easy access to the various parts of the city that require deliveries. And
We could summon our familiars and have them patrol to see if any Zhentarim are coming as well.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
I guess maybe a tiny hut wouldn't be too bad either.
Sure. I'll cast. I don't know. Maybe we could cast Find Familiar first then, because I don't have it up. And after that, I'll cast Tiny Hut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I need an hour for Find Familiar. And
Yeah,
I
me
want to
too.
make Ivy the owl. Hoot. Hoot. And then I'll cast Tiny Hut.
I think I'm gonna go with the owl as well this time.
Come to me, Hattie.
10-foot radius. That's a bit bigger than 10-foot radius. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. You should be able to move it if you want to.
It's fine here, I guess.
Of course, Charlotte may decide she wants to spend a night in her old cubby.
I think I the thought of having fresh, well, not fresh, but fishless air is a bit more inviting than. Although I'll take my stuffed animal with me, my stuffed octopus. What's her name? Beatrice?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, Beatrice.
You were definitely on the spot there, so. Was that the name
I
of
like
your
the name
rabbit?
Beatrice.
Isn't that the name of a rabbit?
I don't know. Are you thinking of Beatrix Potter, maybe? The author of
Yep.
Peter Rabbit.
All right.
I guess we're just gonna tell the sergeant about the plan, about taking a rest before we go up against Vydar, and that we are sending our familiars to keep a lookout for Zhentarim. But we could also use their help to kind of keep a lookout.
Charlotte should probably do it because of her queen status.
Probably.
Oh. Well, I mean, sure. Where is the sergeant? I can't find him.
He's right there.
Oh, that's him? Oh, okay.
You can tell it because he's got some stripes and a couple of extra colors on his shoulders.
Oh. Well, Sergeant, me and my ladies are exhausted, and we have to retire for the night. We'll be sending out our magical helpers to do some scouting while we slumber, to make sure that no Zhentarim get the drop on us, but we would definitely appreciate you and your men's eyes as
Our
well.
eyes?
I mean, we need you to keep a lookout for us.
Oh. Of course. Assuming General Sabine's got the word out, she may want to actually just surround the castle.
But right now?
Well, just to keep Lord Vydar and the rest of the Zhentarim bottled up inside.
Good. I'm sure she's got that handled.
Well, would you like to tell your men to help?
Yes, that's a very good idea. Men, go to the castle and help the Ravenhead lady Sabine. And when you get there, tell them that Lady Elaine sent you. Queen Elaine, even.
Our troll is with her. So
And also our troll is with her, so you'll know who to look for.
This is the perfect persona for you, for you, Sophie, because it's like your spotty memory can be so easily played off as arrogant indifference.
Yes. Yes. There's just so much to keep up with.
tell my butler, and he tells everybody. Ida lives the life that Sophie aspires to.
That's true. Wish I had multiple villas and TVs and whatnot.
Very good. All right. Sergeant Horsham speeds off, passes the word, and starts barking a few orders. And he suggests to apparently a counterpart amongst the militia whom he has made contact with whilst you were busy dropping the city's port defenses, that perhaps some of his men should pair up with some of the other person's men, and then the groups should go out together so as to avoid any misunderstandings. And he also whispers to you to help keep the men in line, make sure they don't get into any trouble on their own. There are groans of disappointment amongst your mercenaries when they realize that pillaging and raping is no longer on the menu, but realizing as well that the fight is not yet won, they acquiesce and huddle off, leaving a group primarily consisting of your men with just a few of the local militia to help keep things in order.
Yeah.
Your men, having taken your instructions to heart, set up a little bit of a perimeter. They continue to offload men and supplies from the ships. Some of the other men also start scouting around. And when no one seems to be looking, you do spot the occasional, especially your keen-eyed, perceptive elf party members, do spot the occasional mercenary nicking something. Some of it is pretty harmless, nibbling on some fresh fruit. Other times it's rummaging through boxes and cases and taking anything that looks valuable. There isn't that much immediately valuable that's obvious, but there are some nice consumables like bottles of wine and things, and those seem to be disappearing at an alarmingly fast rate. All right. Well done. Anybody want to do anything else while you guys are taking a little bit of a rest?
Rest?
Aside from the rest. Yes, we've established that. That's...
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
Portent.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, you're so average. It's fine.
Average is beautiful too.
Yeah, and I wanted to identify the vials.
Uh-huh.
The blue and the red one.
Okay. The red one is a potion of greater healing.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And the blue one is a potion of spell restoration, and it will return 2 spell slot levels. You can choose whether or not you want them to be first levels or 1 second level.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay.
Kind of like a potion of mana.
I also want to attune to the dagger of venom.
The dagger of venom, as a reminder, is a glass dagger and has a one-time use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically it'll break and the venom will come out.
Oh, cool. Okay. Do I still have time for my language learning?
Sure, Laura.
I'm so busy at nights.
Because I'll
Okay.
never hear the end of it otherwise.
I want to learn good. Good.
Dobrze.
I knew it was going to be something really.
What was that? Aubergine?
Yeah, it sounded like aubergine, right?
What?
Dobrze.
Dobrze.
Dobrze. Oh, okay. Dobrze.
So what's the difference between dobre and dobrze?
Dobry, it's to a person.
Ah,
Dobrze.
interesting.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd like to unattune to this bracelet and attune to the scepter.
Right. How many attunement slots are you using currently?
Right now I have 2. So I wanted to take off the bracelet and use the scepter instead.
You can have 3, so you can have them all.
I can have 3?
Brace. Yeah.
Oh wow. Amazing. In
Sorry,
that case.
did you say you had 2 including these 2, or do you mean 2 besides these 2?
No, so right now I just have the night vision goggles and the bracelet. So that's just 2.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And so you're adding the scepter is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. All right. Well done. Yes. When you attune to the scepter, you realize that this gives you an almost unspeakable desire to take control of the city of Neverwinter.
Oh.
To the extent that you didn't have an ego, which we all know you did, or ambition. Now this really gives you some pep. Get up and go. You can't wait to get up in the morning and just go out there and conquer the whole city.
Yes, yes.
Now you get to blame it all on the scepter.
Excellent.
Yes. Get to be a complete jerk about it and be entirely free of any sense of guilt or responsibility. All right. Well done. Anybody else want to do anything? Change any spells? Don't forget your short rest hit dice can be recovered up to 1/2 of your total if you've used more than 1/2. Otherwise, you can recover all of them if you've used less than 1/2. Yes, Ida, what was it you wanted to do?
Yes. I want to change spells. I don't want to have prayer of healing anymore.
Oh.
I want to have aid instead.
Oh. Okay, very good.
And I also want to hand out good berries to everyone.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any specific allocation?
Specific allocation?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Well, you get 10 good berries, so you're giving 2 to everybody, or is it?
Yes.
Okay. And
give
for
some
those
to your friends.
and for those with familiars, please just type in here that who's getting how many of what, if you're holding onto them yourselves, handing them to familiars, just so we can keep track of it. If you unsummon your familiar, the good berries will remain behind.
What do you mean by that? So if I temporarily dismiss Ivy, then
The good berries will be on the ground where Ivy was last flying or standing.
Thanks. I'll give 1 to Ivy and take 1.
Okay. All right. Anything else you guys want to do?
I'll give 1 to Hattie as well. 1
Okay.
to Hattie.
All
And
right.
I'm just going to change into my pretty dress. So I can better fit the part.
Just for the job you want, not the job you have.
Exactly.
Dream big.
I need a dress that says more tyrant.
I actually do want to change a spell. I don't know, maybe I can ask the other ones. I wanted to change out Thunder Wave. I'm not sure if I should change in Hideous Laughter or Magic Missile. I don't know if I'm funny enough to make Vidar laugh. I mean, I am pretty funny, but
Looking.
but
Hey.
look it. Oh, or I could change it in for a web. That would be also cool. I haven't used that in a long time.
I have a feeling
do
that
you
we are
guys
not
think?
going to just fight Vidar. I will think he has some followers with him.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can do a second long rest. It's well.
No, just think that maybe web will be more useful if he has a lot of soldiers who are melee based.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for your input. And also, I'm going to tell everybody of the vials. And I don't know. I think the vial of poison, Cracker, you can dip that to your weapon.
Okay.
So maybe it would be more of a use to you than for me.
Okay,
Or,
sounds good.
even just use it as dip for your Black Dragon liver chips. If you like that extra spicy, fiery jalapeno.
I'll think about it. Also the potion of greater healing. I don't know if because you're in the front line, maybe you should have that too.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Or we could put in the bag folding, but I thought, well, maybe that could be cool if you had it. Okay.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, so sweet. All right. Before we take a break, since we do have a break coming up, and I know at least probably one of you is dying for it, let's have a quick discussion on what your strategy is going to be, just so I can prepare. I have a lot of things prepared, but just in case somebody comes up with some oddball plan that I didn't have already set up for, gives me a chance to think about how we would go about doing it. Anybody?
Well, we're going to kill Lord Vidar. That's the plan.
Oh God, Henrietta, if you just say we're going to wing it again, I swear to God.
You're gonna bring Blemish with us?
And moan.
I swear to Kiransely, I'm going to just curse you. We're just going to wing it. It's stressing me out. Poor
But
DM's
do we think
aged
that
3 years in the last 6 months.
do we think that he is in his tower where we fought him before? Where we fought Sulfira and her goons?
He's probably in the castle.
Yeah, I think
Oh
he's in
yeah,
the
sure.
castle.
That wasn't in the castle. That's right. Sorry. So we don't know the layout. But I guess we have to talk to Sabine. She probably knows the layout, right?
Yeah.
She's probably familiar with the castle.
I think we need to coordinate with Sabine.
Yeah.
Or our mind reading doppelganger.
Yeah.
If she's still with us.
If you wanted Cessna with you, yeah,
Yep.
Cessna can still be with you. Cessna will tell you that I can only read minds of people I can see. They have to be in the same room.
But doesn't Diego knows about the castle? Or layout of the castle?
Yes, but I don't need to read minds to take their form. It helps. But I only need to see them to take their form. And I have read his mind before, but, well, it's quite banal, really. The more you read minds, the more you realize most people don't have interesting minds worth reading.
You know if he's been in the castle recently?
I haven't read his mind recently.
Okay, so you didn't when he came up.
I first met him weeks ago when he arrived and was being shown the city by some of the Zhentarim who work under Vydar.
Mm.
I knew a little bit about him as a result of meeting him briefly, but it's not like I know everything about him. It's just surface thoughts. He was hungry, he was tired, he wanted to, well, frankly, he wanted to go to a whorehouse. Uh, Beyond that, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, just I guess we'll just have to talk to Sabine when we get there.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and
isn't your dwarf friend someone who would know what the castle looks like?
Well, probably,
probably.
but we don't know if he knows anything about kind of what kind of security it has. He's been
Oh,
away for a while, as far as I understood.
yes, that's true. I mean, I've seen the interior layout. I can show you a rough idea.
That would be great.
Well, and it
Well,
would make sense that you'd be going back to report to Lord Vidar as Diego.
oh, you want me to go in as a spy? Ooh, this is exciting. Um, hmm, how would we do that? I mean, I could just walk through the front gates, but I'm not sure that's going to hold up. They usually have things like code words. I could probably try. I might be able to read the name of the guard, read the mind of the guard, and then see what the code word's supposed to be.
Yeah, it
But I
sounds
would,
like a good idea.
but I
Yeah, you
would
must be
need.
thinking about it.
The problem is the castle's surrounded now, so how would I even get up there without being stopped?
Yeah,
It would look very odd if I suddenly was just allowed to walk through, knowing
true.
with everybody knowing that I'm supposed to be some assistant to Lord Vidar.
Yeah.
But here, let me show you what the castle looks like at least, and this way you'll have a rough idea of what the layout is. And he takes a piece of paper and he starts sketching out some outlines. So, first of all, it's roughly in the shape of a hexagon, but it's really meant to be more like an eye. And the exterior walls are quite impenetrable. Practically speaking, you can't force a direct assault. Now, there's a stable in the right-hand corner uh, on the right side, that large building there. The towers are, I think that's where the guards live, but also they have some of their workshops like the armorer. I'm not an expert. I've only been inside the castle to help host or uh, cater to special functions, including dinners. The main hall is the large building directly in front of the main entrance, which is the entrance at the south there. And there are some additional towers attached to the main hall, as well as some rooms in the back. Overall, it's not a very large building uh, in terms of having lots of separate rooms. There's another floor upstairs, I believe, but I've never really been up there. They didn't let us. And I think there might be a lower level, probably where they keep a lot of political prisoners. Although they do have a main prison in the city, which you may have heard of. This is where they keep some of the more sensitive ones. And of course, storerooms and things. And then it's your usual place. It's got storerooms. It's got, sheds to keep weapons and it's got its own water supply. I remember we had to go pull a lot of water from the well at some point to keep things going for the parties. And it's patrolled very heavily. That's all I can really remember. I wasn't really thinking about an assault, sorry. So, but the soldiers, they used to be militia, and now I don't think they're militia anymore. I think they're special guards brought in by Lord Vidar. So you might
Yeah.
have a hard time convincing them. But the good news is it's not that heavily fortified. I mean, assaulting would be almost impossible, but it's not like they're keeping hundreds of soldiers in there.
Mm.
Can we use the centrums to get us inside? No. Because of the surrendered thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of surrounded by our forces now.
Yeah.
So it would be weird if they just let the Zhentarim go in.
Yeah.
How
Or
about
just
this?
stroll on through.
Yeah.
What about the sneaky entrance? You know, the one that got us out into the museum.
What sneaky entrance?
Well,
The
where
back.
we came up and there were apparently people could go from one building to another secretly through this entrance into this room. It's like a central room with doors leading off of it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And we can talk to Molm, wasn't it? He
Yeah,
who knew the routes.
yeah.
What about Euripides? Do we need him for anything?
Well, it would be nice to have his sneaky.
Now that like the militia are like on our side, we could pay him a visit maybe.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, or we can have someone kind of fetch him for us and meet us at the castle so we don't have to take them.
Oh, that's a very queen thing of you to say. Yes. Let's do that.
Sophie's like, stay in your lane.
You can be my
This-
queen concubine.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry, not concubine, queen consort.
That's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
This group's not big enough for 2 tiaras. That's what you guys could name yourselves as a group. Queen. All right. Well, it feels like we're getting to the point where ideas are running thin, probably because there's some water pressure building up somewhere. So let's all take a much needed break and we shall reconvene in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode, and if so, please like and subscribe. And remember, the next time your DM says, roll initiative, yell back,
Here.
hold my earrings.
Here, my earrings.
This is good. I think we only need this take.
All right. So, yes, you guys are resting in your tiny hut. You have completed your long rest. There were no major disruptions. Occasionally, somebody raps on the outside of the tiny hut to get your attention, and they give you little status reports and updates. The city is all quiet. Most of the fighting has died down. The two sides have largely retired. Although the soldiers and the mercenaries and the archers have disembarked from the two war vessels, most of the fighters outside the city walls have remained outside the city walls. Sabine says that this was to help maintain some sort of structure and prevent looting, which your commander Forsyth agreed made sense. There is also a skeleton sieging force comprised mainly of Neverwinter militia around the castle, but there are elements of your forces interspersed so that everybody understands that the fighting has halted and that the two sides are working in conjunction. But so far, there is no sign that anyone within the castle itself wishes to surrender. And in fact, any attempts at parley have failed completely. Lots of abuses being hurled back and forth over the walls, verbal and also physical. Some of the more popular items being catapulted from some of the smaller catapults atop some of the towers of the castle include dog feces and rotting fish carcasses. Your long rest, since it started roughly around the time of daybreak, has taken most of the day and is now becoming it's now becoming evening again, which may or may not suit your purposes. What would you all
Cover
like
in
to
the
do?
dark.
I quickly cast
Yes.
Mage Armor myself.
Excellent.
I think I actually level up this long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was your level up. So now you're level 4.
Yay.
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 Would you like to share your changes with anyone? Although I guess it's mostly just you have an ASI or
Yeah, I took an ISI, so
okay.
now I'm smarter than Sophie or
No.
Charlotte.
No, how can this be?
I now
Damn it.
have 18 intelligence. And I took 2 spells, one kind of not so useful for fighting, but can be useful when we are trying to break in places. I took knock,
Ooh.
and I also took mirror image to help myself in fights.
Good.
Yeah.
I like
Amazing.
that spell.
And when we get some gold, I'm going to copy some spells of Violet and Charlotte.
If you had taken hideous laughter with knock, I would have let you combine the two into one spell for a knock joke.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about taking hideous laughter. I was, but
Well, there you
I
go.
found that mirror image. It's kind of better
It's
for me if I'm going to use my blade song and be in the thick of it.
it's very useful. Mirror image, blur, all of
Mm.
these are particularly useful, especially since you don't necessarily lose it just because you attacked, as opposed to invisibility, which is purely defensive. Okay. Cool. Okay, any other changes? All right. So, what's the plan, Stan?
Go to the castle, I guess. Should we send someone to get
We need to get in there, not the front
Eurydice?
door.
Wait, what? I couldn't hear a thing. What was
Post a meme of Homer Simpson throttling Bart.
that?
I think we could find a way that's not the front door. That's maybe less guarded.
You tell.
Can't we take the bat doors? The pool
Let's talk to
doors.
Mom.
Where is Muln?
He's in the
Fish hut.
fish hut.
It's in Charlotte's old room.
Curled up with Beatrice.
No. Get your grubby hands off her.
Technically, I think he might be cleaner than Beatrice.
Probably smells better.
Definitely smells better. Beatrice has had years of accumulated fish and seafood aromas permeating her various surfaces.
Don't be so dramatic. She's just a bit dusty, that's all.
Dusty with fish scales.
Ew.
You got a spell for that, don't you?
True.
In fact, that may even be the reason why you first learned prestidigitation.
To keep her clean. To
Yeah.
keep myself clean.
Keep yourself clean even, yeah. All right. So yeah, Mulm comes out, rubs the sand out of his bizarre implanted eyes, blinks, and says, "Well, thanks for inviting me into your hut.
You can come in.
Bit late now. Time for breakfast or dinner. Or you planning on sleeping all day, or are we gonna do this, or what?
We're gonna do this.
All right. Let's get that shiny black armored bastard."
Is there a back door?
And he points at the window to the fishmonger's hall.
Yeah, like that, but only into the castle.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Well, And he kind of leans in and whispers, I've heard that there is a way through those tunnels that you used before. I think it goes through the well in the castle grounds.
Ah. Well, we should
Yeah.
try that.
Yeah, legend has it that a long time ago, a young princess fell in and drowned. And, the father was so distraught that he ordered that the well be reconstructed with an escape hatch to allow for somebody to get out in case that happened ever again. Unfortunately, as a result of the tectonic activity from Mount Hottentoe afterward, the water levels actually risen. So now that entrance, or escape hatch, as it were, is actually submerged. But the tunnel still works. And thanks to some of your, shall we say, more discreet friends, they found a way to connect to it so that they could access the castle externally. But it does require more swimming.
Well, I'm pretty good at swimming. I can drag these ones along with me. I nod at the queen.
Oh. Well, I don't want to get my dress dirty, so I'll have to change out of this.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Plus, you want to take that tiara off. Yeah, but I think we could probably find our way in there. The problem is, once you get into the actual well, I think they might have bricked up the entrance into the castle itself. We'll get to the well, but we won't be able to use that escape hatch to get into the building. So we'll have to come up through the well somehow and then find our way into the actual throne room and the living quarters. And I don't think it'll be big enough for your troll friend.
Oh, yeah. That's true. What does everybody else think?
Can we use Jet? Do you think Jet has a way to get us in?
Are you asking him?
No,
Or
I'm asking the party. I don't know if there is a better way in.
Yeah, I wonder if Jet knows another way.
Oh. Well, I'd rather
You-
not have to pay him more of our valuable loot.
I really need Blemish to go with us.
Mm,
Yeah, that's important.
okay. I suppose there's no harm in asking, but what do you have to offer?
Let me see.
Everyone, turn out your pockets.
Got 9 gold. You can have that.
Okay, that's a start.
Let's see.
I have 8.
I have Selphira's Porsche. Porch.
Her what?
Her pouch.
A pouch. Okay.
I haven't checked what's in it yet, but I do have it.
Well, let's take a look then.
I'm gonna take it out and look into it to see what it's in it. What's in it?
Do you remember what I wrote or told you before?
You didn't tell me exactly what's in it.
Okay. There are 3 emeralds and 15 gold pieces and a small brooch, which is gold and ivory with a cameo carved into it. It is the face of appears to be a face of a female tiefling.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. Well, I think between us we should be able to pay off Jet. Oh, okay. Here we go again then. I'll take out my paper crane thing. Hi, Jet. Any chance you can spirit us into the castle with our troll friend? Kiss, kiss. Queen.
Imagine if Queen Elizabeth signed her letters like that. XOXO. Elizabeth II Regent.
Sounds like a Netflix series waiting to happen.
Yeah.
XOXO Elizabeth.
That does actually. You're right. Well done. You should be in production and marketing.
Yeah.
Well, you send off the paper crane, paper bird, and you wait. And you wait. And you wait. How long do you wait for?
I don't know.
Guess we could start walking if the paper bird can find anyone. He should be able to find us if we start walking. Yes.
Yeah, well, you start walking and you get to the castle, and there's still no response.
Uh-oh. Hope he's not dead.
That'd be a shame.
It would. But at the same time, I wouldn't have to pay him. It's good.
Well,
so transactional.
since we're here, we can ask General Sabine if she has any suggestions, if she knows of a secret way inside. Might have an escape route that November. I don't know. Or we can just use the army to kind of breach inside the castle and go from there. Brute force.
Ooh, brute force.
Show some muscle.
You can use Blemish as a battering ram.
Well, as tough as Blemish is, he would probably survive the battering bit, but he's not. He's still made of relatively soft tissue compared to the wood, steel, and stone that comprises the castle defenses. So you might be there a very long time indeed before he actually made significant progress.
I think the well's a pretty good option.
To say nothing of the fact that the castle defenders have fire, which, you know, Blemish is not a fan of.
Where are we even? Are we coming from the south entrance?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's put you somewhere around here. This is Sabine, by the way.
Where's Blemish?
Where would you like him to be?
Somewhere around so we can get him.
Okay.
Probably with Sabine.
Blemish is hiding in a tree. He's such a big target that it makes it very easy. Sabine says, "Ah, you finally arrived. We've got them bottled up, but there's not really much we can do to force the issue. Knowing that the fight's essentially over, none of my men want to sacrifice their lives for this, especially since they assume that you're going to be doing all that heavy lifting." And then she looks at Muln. "Muln, oh, my dear friend. It's so good to see you. Are you well? Have you got your eyes back? Although they do look a bit odd." Yeah. Something borrowed, something blue. Mom, I think that's when people get married. Whatever. But yes, it's good to see you too. To be honest, I never thought I'd see your beautiful face again. Oh, Muln, stop it. You know I don't like that talk. I'm sorry. And then she softens a bit and says, but I am glad you're back and better. I missed you too. And she reaches down and gives him a little kiss on his forehead. And those of you who are a bit more perceptive will notice what appears to be a little twinkling of salty liquid coming out of one corner of an eye.
I've never heard a tear quite described that way.
There you go.
Salty tears. Okay.
They are salty.
They are. They really are.
They really are.
So we can't rely on them to bash down the door.
No.
Nope.
The men, it's the end of the war. No one wants to die. You can understand that.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Totally.
Besides, breaking down the door is one thing. Dealing with Lord Vydar, that's quite another. And, to be honest, most of my men have already fled the castle. The ones that remained, they're essentially fanatics. They're a cut above your average Zhentarim. And the grounds are patrolled as well. They don't shoot back, even though most of my men are in range, because I think they're harboring their ammunition. And my men aren't really putting up much of a fight. We're just keeping them bottled up for you. The other problem, of course, is if we were to assault, long before we actually got anywhere, they could kill everybody in there, including Neverember and any other hostages. Personally, I never liked the man. I think he's a bit too old to be doing this. But he does carry authority, and he has done much for the city, as well as trying to restore Leylon. There are those who would follow him still.
Guess he's better than Lord Vydar.
He made a deal that was forced upon him in an extreme situation. Had he not done the deal with the Zhentarim, the city might have fallen to the orcs before the heroes of Neverwinter had arrived and saved it. Unfortunately, he underestimated their tenacity and greed. But to be honest, none of us really saw this coming, myself included. And of course, my friend Maln, well, he paid a price, didn't he? Although, I'm glad to see that you can see. I will say your eyes look a bit different. Yeah, it's kind of a long story. Well, you'll have to tell me later. In the meantime, what's your plan? And she looks at the party expectantly.
Well, we're going to have to get in there and come in at it from the inside somehow.
I agree stealth would be best. If you can catch them unawares and perhaps penetrate the throne room before anybody else puts up much of a fuss, you might be able to bring an end to this whole standoff. Neverember will always be at risk potentially, but you could limit the amount of killing and unnecessary bloodshed when it comes to the castle staff and anyone else who might be trapped inside. Of course, if you could destroy Vydar or bring an end to his reign of power, then that would be the best, and ultimately sacrifices are expected to be made.
Oh, it's definitely the goal.
I don't suppose you know of any secret ways into the castle?
Well, legend has it that the well, and Mullen interjects, yeah, I already told them all about it. Oh, well then you know. That's the only one I know of. Otherwise, the castle's pretty tight. Of course, it is an open-air facility, so, well, I'm assuming somebody here can fly.
A lot of people suggest that we should just fly in places.
Well, that's the thing with walls. They tend to have an ending.
Yeah, but we don't have a lot of people who actually can fly.
And
left
that's
my
why they're
wings
still
behind.
effective.
Should we try the well then?
I
See
guess
if
we
that
have
will
to.
help. Yeah.
Unless you've got some ability to move through stone. I know that some clerics have that ability. Others could dig a hole. I mean, it's not impossible. I've heard of a druid that could move earth, and if you did it slowly and quietly, perhaps they wouldn't notice. We do have sappers trying to weaken the walls, but every time we get close, they detect it, and, well, I've lost a few men already, and I'm reluctant to put many more at risk for the sake of trying to breach a wall that we know is eventually going to be irrelevant if you can get inside another way. Or perhaps disguise yourselves. I mean, we could set up a distraction. You could try to make yourselves appear to be a breakaway party of Zhentarim returning to the fold. I understand that before the whole assault kicked off, there was a troop of entertainers inside. Some sort of a feast was planned at the time. I think they might still be in there. So if you did manage to break in, you might be able to sort of, I don't know, blend in with them possibly, but I can't speak for certainty. I was invited, but I didn't go because, well, I had more important things to do and I felt it was a bit frivolous for.
Would you say that it's far from the well to the building? Do we have to sneak far?
Well, and she draws a rough, crude map. The well is here. It's just outside the main structure. The fastest route to the main throne room is to the front, but that'll surely be heavily guarded. There's another passage through this area. This is a door between two other entrances and defending towers. And from within the towers themselves, one can access the throne room as well as the living quarters. There's also an external entrance from the back, typically reserved for kitchens, deliveries, the banquet hall.
If we sneak in through the well and we find there's probably some dead Zhentarim around, so we can steal their cloaks. And then it would be maybe easier to sneak inside.
Yes, that's possible. I don't know if anybody's mentioned it, but the guards there are, they're not your typical Zhentarim.
So different armor.
Yes, and much higher morale, better training, very well equipped. Fanatics, some say. I think as much driven by fear. For whatever reason, they all assume that failure to deliver on their responsibilities would mean death by Vydar, who, by all accounts, is very powerful. I did see him finish off that dragon. It was heavily wounded, but any man who's willing to stand in front of a dragon and risk his life that way and then finish it off, you know he believes in himself if nothing else. As I say, just going over the top at night, you might have a decent shot of it. You'll have to avoid the patrols, but they're really not looking for things coming over the top through the sky.
Now we could split up. Those of us who could go over the top, and then those of us who can't go under.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. You know what they say, never split the party.
Right. But Blemish can't go through the well, right?
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, I don't know how long it would take to get from one side to the other. They could shrink him, but only for a minute. So, yeah. That would be not enough.
Blemish is stuck. Help!
Huh.
Clunk, 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 clunk.
So how many
Blemish
people?
can't drink water fast enough. Clunk, 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 clunk.
How many people can you make fly by less?
One.
Yeah, one. And
Yay!
Sinise can levitate, but we're still short, so over the top is out of the question.
I mean, I have floating disc. I don't know.
It won't help. It has to have something
Right.
under it.
Uh,
So I guess our only option is either to just break through or take the well and leave Blemish here. And if we break the wall, we are
Blemish can
going
fly
to.
over,
Yeah.
but I'm also not a big fan of splitting.
Who can fly?
Only Byleth.
Hmm.
It's a powerful spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you post it?
Mhm.
I thought you could make somebody else fly.
Yeah, I can make somebody else fly, but just one person.
And I can't carry all of you.
Nope.
Well, I mean, it's 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah, but going back and forth is going to increase the rate of being seen.
Yeah.
Can't we cast it on Blemish and he can carry two of us every time?
Yeah.
But we're still splitting the party.
Oh,
With
yeah.
those who are over the wall and those who are not.
Yep.
It's like a bridge too far.
I mean, I also have invisibility, and Zenise, you have too, right? Maybe we could do something with that.
I also have it.
Oh, that's very nice.
What if Blemish flies carrying two of us? And we tie rope from Blemish to Zenise, who's using levitate with her boots, and it's also carrying somebody else. Wouldn't that be everyone?
Nope, still one short.
No. Oh.
Well, if you can get most of your party in the first go, I'm sure they can hold things down as long as you're not detected. When I said don't split the party, I suggested not going halfway over and halfway through the well. That would be difficult.
But you haven't traveled with us a lot. Knowing our luck, we're going to be detected. Oh, we're not very sneaky.
Well, with that attitude.
Well, speaking from experience.
You would think more of you would learn to fly.
Well, we're not powerful enough.
Yet.
More into fighting.
You know, you can write scrolls. I've heard people do that.
Yeah, if there's enough time on a long rest, I'll do that. I'm very busy, you know.
And there's also a chance that
Learning tiefling.
Yeah.
Eating yogurt.
There's also a chance that the scrolls won't work if we are not powerful enough to cast it.
So just to be clear, mechanically, Zenise can use a scroll. Fly.
But we don't have one, so.
Yes, but I just want to clear that up in case that ever became if that was a barrier to doing it. I'm not suggesting you do it. I'm just saying Zenise is of the same level to be able to cast fly if she wanted to take that as her spell, which she shouldn't do because as a sorcerer, it's not the same kind of a situation. But if she had a spell scroll, even written by a wizard, she would be able to use it.
We can try to fly.
What about the escape code? Because that's basically like a teleportation spell. Or should we?
I think we have to know where we're ending up, no?
Yeah.
Like we have to have a visual memory of the destination.
What if we enlarge Blemish first? Would he be able to carry more people while he's flying?
I think the carrying capacity would be doubled, right? Wait.
Post it.
Boop. Going to post. post it for you, my queen. Oh, we both.
We both posted it.
It's fine.
That's a really long spell.
Mm-hmm. So the way it works is because the size category goes up one, all of the weight calculations are doubled, which doesn't make sense because technically your weight's gone up by 8 as per the spell, since you doubled in every dimension, not just one. So it is 2 to the 3rd power. But mechanically, what they say is a creature with a medium-sized creature with the same strength score versus a creature with the large size category and the same strength score would be able to carry twice as much weight as a medium-sized creature.
What if we both cast enlarge on him? Will he be like as big as the castle?
You can't use the same spell on the same object or creature at the same time.
Aw.
The last one cast would be the one that holds out. Yep.
Okay, well that's one way I guess we could do it, maybe.
And do we trust Blemish to fly?
Blemish starts hopping back and forth on one foot to the other. Ooh, Blemish wants to fly. Blemish wants to be light as a bird.
And to be quiet?
Oh, Blemish can be quiet. Blemish can be quiet. Are you looking at Blemish funny?
Come on, cast silence.
How much can Sinise carry?
One person.
Even Lilith the Cracker?
No. One lighter person. No offense.
Yeah. Put down that
all
donut,
muscle.
Lilith.
It's all muscle.
So
It's all
we can
muscle
do
and
it-
battle axes.
We can do it with either Blemish taking 3 turns or Denise using levitate and taking 1 person and Blemish using 2 turns.
Doesn't your
Or-
troll regenerate?
Yes, it does.
Well, I'm not suggesting that you should do this, or that he would even want to, but we could rig a catapult.
That's not very quiet.
Well, as long as he doesn't scream. We've been firing things at the castle and they've been firing things back. It would just sound like any other thing.
Do you suggest that you catapult us as well?
Oh, well, no, not unless you can all regenerate. But he'd probably be all right.
Don't you have Featherfall, really?
No, I don't. I was thinking about getting it, but didn't.
I like that idea. I mean, I also like the flying thing, but there are a lot of spell slots that we'd have to use.
So maybe we sneak in through the well and we catapult Blemish over.
I like
Maybe we
that
could
idea.
even- Yeah.
Just hope for the best, I guess.
This doesn't sound like catapult. Catapult doesn't sound like flying.
Well, it is. It's
It sounds
flying
like
and then falling.
falling.
Yeah, well, you fly first and then you fall.
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
great.
great.
Isn't that going
Yeah.
to hurt?
No,
No.
you're gonna be fine.
Roll deception.
I'm gonna guide you.
Thank you.
What do you mean, guide? You're going to fly with Blemish?
No.
Let's see if I can find deception. Oh, that's good.
Oh man.
This is going great. I just love my rolls. 2, so 5.
And Blemish immediately grabs Mealy and says, "Only if you come with Blemish."
Well, you have to break my fall or I'll die. I won't regenerate like you do. I will die.
You know, just because trolls regenerate doesn't mean they don't have feelings. It
We know, but
hurts.
of course we know, but you're going to be fine after, and we really want you to come with us. You're a friend, and we need your help.
You have fly spell. Blemish can fly like bird.
Yeah, but if we use too many spells, we don't have enough spells to defeat Lord Vydar.
And I hear he's really tasty.
Yeah, that too.
No, you're
how
making. Now you're just trying to play on Blemish's hunger. That's not nice. Blemish thought you were friends. And he drops a gigantic, salty tear,
Oh,
drips down his nose, and then mixes with some mucus sniveling out of his nostril and plops at his feet.
Can I hand him a one black dragon liver chip?
Sure. He won't get any benefits from it.
Oh, he won't? Okay.
Well, you need to eat the whole packet.
Yeah.
It's like when you eat a packet of crisps, right? The first one tastes great, but you don't really start to feel sick until you've finished it off.
Yeah, maybe that's a bad choice.
I feel sick from eating crisps. I love crisps.
Yeah. I mean, you know, eat enough of them, eventually you will. The only
Please,
ones where that
Blemish.
probably doesn't work is the cheese and onion. I feel like after the first one, your breath stinks pretty bad already.
Oh, yeah. It's like a huge downside.
Pay off Blemish's debt so Blemish doesn't have to keep hacking off arm to pay debt. Then Blemish will do this. Blemish sees you give little black man in black cloak gems. You can spare it.
Didn't you owe like 2,000 golds or something?
Plus interest.
Yeah, right. We don't have that.
Huh.
Not even close.
You have beautiful jewel scepter.
You really want us to die, don't you?
You want Blemish to die, throwing
We
Blemish
don't.
at stone walls with catapult.
Well, we know you're going to survive and you're going to regenerate.
You know what? I think it's very fair trade. Blemish, I promise you that when I become queen, I will pay off your debt. How's that sound?
Do you genuinely mean that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a plan for how to get that money?
I'll just take it from the Neverwinter coffers, the vault.
You do realize you're not really the queen.
I know, but this scepter is compelling me to take control of the city, so I will be queen.
Roll. Yeah, in that case, won't be deception. We'll call it persuasione.
can I guide?
Yeah,
I'm gonna guide this.
because why not? You're already a priestess of Talos.
The gods are on
Chaos,
my
more
side.
chaos. Gods of evil and chaos, support me.
Okay, let's see. Persuasion. Hiya. 12
All
plus
right.
4.
Ooh, 16. Pinky swear.
Pinky swear with my mage hand.
You won't even take Blemish's pinky.
It's a little bit too unwieldy for me. My delicate lady fingers.
He accepts your mage hand pinky.
That's a
You
good.
wouldn't lie to Blemish. If you do, Blemish will remember forever. Trolls have very long memories.
I wouldn't dream of it, Blemish. On my honor as the queen.
You're not really the queen.
Shh.
And then he sort of puffs out his chest, straightens his back. First time you've ever seen him not stooped over, lifts his head, and claps his two giant gnarled hands together and goes, "Right, let's do this!"
Yay.
And he rips one of the tents. There have been a couple of makeshift tents set up, and he takes the canvas off of the wooden frame, exposing a couple of soldiers who are getting it on with each other.
Oh.
Well, you know, it's the whole "we barely survived and let's have a moment." And he wraps it around his neck like a cape and holds it out, dramatic fashion. "Blemish will be the first troll to fly."
Attaboy.
Sabine looks at you and says, "I don't know what you said to him, but don't you dare talk to my soldiers that way."
Cross my heart.
"I'll do more than cross your heart." And she shows you a little bit of a dagger that she pulls halfway out of her sheath.
Okay, settle down.
"Right. Well, it looks like your boy's climbing into the catapult. Would you like me to send him over now, or do you want to give a signal after you've penetrated the grounds?"
I think signal, because then we could get a distraction if we need it.
"Right. And what's the signal going to be? Shouting?"
If you stand in the bushes where Blemish was, I can send you a message.
You mean over here?
Yeah. If you are that close to the wall, I can send you a message from the well, I think.
Oh.
I can try.
Oh, that's fine. Or, you
It's
know, just use your magic. We'll see it.
yeah.
Or all
But
familiars would work too.
yeah. We can actually use our familiars from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
The one
the
here
crane.
and
Oh, the train's not back yet. Never mind.
maybe it's better to just use a familiar. Have the familiar on the outside and try and connect with it from the inside. Maybe.
Maybe I would send Ivy over to fly to and not go through the well with a catapult then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go get wet.
Yep.
What?
In the
What a way
well.
to phrase that.
Right.
Let's go swimming.
Okay. So you guys. Hello.
Hello.
Phrasing. Yes. So you managed to find the nearest sewer entrance. You climb your way down into the sewers. You navigate your way with the help of Muln through some of the twisty, turny bits, and you come up in what appears to be a very small sauna type room. It's actually quite well appointed. And then from there, you see all the various doors that you had seen previously. Muln says, "Using my dwarf capabilities for underground navigation, feels like this is the right direction." And he points at one particular door that has an extra little bit of gold filigree around the door frame. Very well appointed. Yeah, this is definitely it. He leads you up, and then at some point, it stops being a passageway and becomes sort of waterlogged as it heads down. And finally, there's what appears to be a trapdoor in the floor, but it's under about a foot of water. "We're going to have to swim the rest of the way." He opens the trapdoor, takes a deep breath, and jumps in. You all follow?
Yep,
Yep.
right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And who's hanging on to me?
If there's no
Me.
current, I think we can swim, but
Okay,
I'm gonna hold on to you.
because you're old. Okay.
That's fire back quickly.
All right. You swim, it's not very far, and you end up at another door, which Muln opens because he's in the front. And then you come out and you're all inside the well, crammed in there. Although it's very tight, you can take turns breathing. How are you guys going to get out of the well? You're basically bobbing in water, squeezed in together,
Is there any ladder or anything?
not in the well itself. The bucket is down there with the rope, but it's not clear that that would be able to support any of you. Certainly not. It certainly doesn't look like it would be able to support Cracker.
Denise, float up.
I'm gonna
Throw down a rope.
levitate. Yeah, I'm gonna levitate with Millie up and throw tie the rope somewhere and throw it down.
Okay. Yeah, there are trees. These are trees here, as well as little bushes. And as you climb to the top, you can attach your rope to the trees if you'd like. The well is about 30 feet deep, so there's your standard 50-foot rope is enough to tie to the tree, run it to the well, and then down the well. Can I have a perception check from you, those?
Okay. And I took Millie with me. Just for safety.
Okay, right. Yeah, so the two of you are already upstairs. I don't see Mealy on the screen. Henrietta.
let's see. Can put myself. Oh, didn't get hold of her. There you go.
All right. So you can both roll perception checks.
Okay.
All right. Zanice is hyper-focused on her task.
That's why I took an elf with me.
Yes, smart. Well, Mealy will hear what appears to be dogs barking and baying. And with her dark vision, is able to spot one of the patrols moving around the grounds of the castle. She also hears what sounds like mewling coming from one of the bushes just under the tree.
Okay. I'm just gonna say to Sneeze, okay, I hear some mewling on the bushes and there are dogs. There's a patrol going. Do I know where the patrol is now?
Yes, you can tell based on sound, although you can't quite see them, that there's at least two patrols you can hear, and they're at opposite ends of the main building. So they're about equidistant from your position currently.
They're not too close now, but we need to be careful.
But they seem to be moving in a counterclockwise formation.
Okay.
Which means at some point they should be coming close to you.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to do?
What do we want to do?
Move faster. Come on, guys, quiet.
Should
Okay.
we do you need us an athletics check or anything to climb up the rope?
Well, I suppose so, since you're climbing.
Okay. 24. I'm up and out of there.
Oh yeah. You show off a little bit and do it with like one arm. Everybody else is just bobbing in the well, enjoying the bath. People have to drink that water, you know. Uh-oh. Curse splash as Charlotte falls back in. And the mewling turns into yelps. And you also hear the dogs barking very loudly.
Oh no.
And from underneath the bushes, you see
Oh, puppies.
Pull out my dagger.
Animal handling. Animal handling.
It takes too long.
What's going on up there? Are there puppies?
I have a little bit of rations.
I think two other people still haven't rolled. Ida, do you?
Yeah.
And oh no, curse splash again. This one's even louder because she's wearing armor.
Damn it.
Daria, do you want to roll for your friend Muln? Yeah, Byleth climbs up. And Muln climbs up, no problem.
Thank God.
Hold on
Can
to
I-
the rope, we will drag you up.
Yep. 2. Okay, strength check.
If we are more people dragging, I guess. I don't know if we need it.
All right.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
So I'm being helped. It's not just me.
Okay.
Anybody else want to roll?
Sure, I
Strength?
can, but I don't.
I think Muln's probably helping too, right?
Sure.
Okay. Does he get a d20?
Sure.
Damn
Oh,
it!
Jesus.
I'm
I shouldn't be
helping
rolling. I'm not rolling anymore.
too. So strong.
So we're gonna say the dogs are pulling now. And
Oh, wow.
as you finally get everybody out, you see 2 packs of dogs, as well as their handlers, as well as it appears some of the soldiers on top of the wall, previously having looked only outwards, are now starting to focus on what the commotion is inside the grounds.
I don't know why I bothered to try to sneak at all. We should just barge down
Yeah.
the door. It never
Yeah.
works.
Never works.
No.
Send for help.
Yep. Now's the time.
Yes. I'm gonna point my finger and send a message to Sabine and say, fire. Blood.
Klunk, klunk. And Blemish lands, taking 30 points of damage. He's got a
Like I
broken
said, I would've
arm
been
and a
dead.
broken leg. But he's there.
Oh.
You're a hero, Blemish.
And he coughs up some blood. I need a little break. And that's where we're going to stop today.
Oh, God.
Oof.
Soldier should have killed him.
Jesus. I thought it was going to be a moral quandary for you to kill the guard dogs, because obviously at least one of them's a parent here, but nope, guess not. Guess
They're
we'll be getting
fictional.
some lettuce from PETA. Just
I'm
don't
not a
turn
druid.
just don't turn them into sausages.
Let's spare them.
Roasted dog, otherwise known as hot dog. Well, on that horrific note, we shall conclude next week with the grand finale. Will the party survive their encounter with the guard dogs? Do they have to kill all their canine friends, including the cute little ones?
No, please.
Will
No.
Vydar get the best of them? Or will Neverember die and pay for his treachery? Whatever happened to Jet? To be concluded. Stay tuned.
Find out next time.
Find out next time on Here, Hold My Earrings.
Going to write that down. Write that down.
All right. See you guys next week. And
Yeah.
at the normal time for you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, and Yvonne, if I can borrow you for a minute.
Sure.
You got it. Thanks.
Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
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 Take care.
Thanks.